Hi, hello and welcome back to F1 Challenge VB. My name is Mephisto and our journey through the history of Formula 1 continues today with the 7th round of the 1966 season, the Italian Grand Prix. It was held on the 4th of September. It had 22 entries, 20 of them took part in the race with 11 ending up retiring. The race consisted of 68 laps completed in 1 hour, 47 minutes and 15 seconds. Mike Parks started the race from pole with Scarfiotti in second. Clark started third but retired on lap 58 after a gearbox failure. Surtees was fourth on the grid and retired on lap 31 due to a fuel leak. Bandini started fifth but retired on lap 33 thanks to an ignition problem. And Brabham started sixth but retired on lap 7 due to an oil leak. Scarfiotti, who started the race in second, overtook Parks for the lead and won the Italian Grand Prix. Parks dropped to second and crossed the line 5.8 seconds after Scarfiotti. Denny Hulme climbed up from 10th to 3rd, he was 6.1 seconds behind. Rindt went from 8th to 4th and was 1 lap down. Spence climbed up from 14th to 5th and was 1 lap down as well. And rounding off the top 6 was Bob Anderson, who started from 15th on the grid. He was 2 laps adrift. Scarfiotti proved to be the fastest man of the race, posting a time of 1 minute 32.4 seconds. Welcome to the prestigious Monza circuit, where a lap starts off with a very long run down into turn 1, Curva Grande, a fast open right-hander, which leads into Roggia, a high-speed left-hand sweeper, which itself leads into the Lesmo, a double apex right-hander. Brake just before the 50-meter marker for Lesmo 1 and ease the car into the corner. A quick burst of power and then we come through Lesmo 2. Easy on the throttle and you should be fine. Next is Curva Vialone, a fast open left-hander. Don't let the car go too wide or you might end up in the grass. Lastly, we have Curva Parabolica, a long 180-degree right-hander. Careful when approaching the corner as the first half is tighter than the second. But this brings us around onto the main straight, and that is a lap around the Monza circuit. And here we are in qualifying, coming around to set our first and only qualifying lap, a 132.061. I tried to improve on this, however, I kept making mistakes and well, I wasn't able to improve even though I tried, so not very happy about that, but hopefully the race will go a little bit better. That would be absolutely fantastic. And here we are in Italy for the Italian Grand Prix, and here are the previous Grand Prix winners in Italy. Last time we won here was in 1958, so a very long time ago, so I would really like to win today, but we'll have to see. We have a very beautiful day today, no rain inside, that's absolutely fantastic. And we have Jack Brabham sitting on pole with Jackie Stewart in second, followed by Mike Parks in third. Fourth is Lorenzo Bandini, followed by Ludovico Scarfiotti in fifth. And rounding off the top 6 is Jochen Rindt. In 7th we have John Surtees, followed by Graham Hill in 8th. Denny Hulme is 9th. In 10th we have Dan Gurney, followed by Moises Solana in 11th. In 12th we have Joe Bonnier, followed by Joe Siffert in 13th. 14th Richie Ginster, joining Honda today. 15th is Chris Lawrence Guiligier, 16th. 17th Ronnie Bucknam, 18th Jim Clark, 19th is Andy Higgs, Mike Spence 20th, 23rd first is Bob Bondurant, 22nd Peter Arundel, 23rd Pedro Rodriguez, 24th Chris Amon, 25th John Taylor, 26th Innes Ireland, 27th Geki Russo, 28th Chris Irwin, 29th Bob Anderson, 30th Giancarlo Baghetti, 31st Phil Hill, and Trevor Taylor 32nd. So that is a grid lineup for today's race here in Monza for the Italian Grand Prix. And hopefully things will go well, especially for Andy, because we haven't been doing very well this season. We only managed to finish a single race, the Belgian Grand Prix, and we've retired from all others. So it would be really nice if we could finish another race, maybe in the points, but just finishing would be absolutely fantastic. That was kind of a iffy start. I got hit by someone from behind immediately, and then we lost 2 positions and managed to regain one as we are now in 20th and chasing after Ronnie Bucknam, who is in 19th. As we come through Curva Grande here, hopefully we can regain our lost positions. That will be, well, ideal obviously, but we'll see if we can do anything about it as we come through Lesmo 1 here. Ronnie Bucknam and everyone else slows down quite a bit. I try to make a move on Ronnie Bucknam, but it didn't quite work. As we take a look at a replay of the start, a bit slow to react on my end, but at least we got away from the grid and we are now racing towards turn 1, trying to gain positions. Obviously that didn't quite work, as we now move a little bit further along the line on lap 1, and we managed to overtake both Bucknam and Chris Amon for 18th as we come through Parabolica here, trying to catch up to Chris Lawrence, trying to overtake him, but I go wide through Parabolica, and that allows Chris and hit the grass even, and that allows both Chris Amon and Ronnie Bucknam to get in front of us, so we drop back down to 20th. However, a little bit later on as we start lap 2, I managed to overtake Chris Amon once again for 19th, and now having a look at Ronnie Bucknam, no, not quite. I had to slow down quite a bit coming into Curva Grande, so Ronnie Bucknam managed to pull away quite a bit as I hit something on the outside of the turn there. Not quite sure what it was, but it offset the balance of the car, and well, I spun a little bit there and lost a whole bunch of positions. We're now down to 31st in penultimate place. Not very good. As we now move a little bit further along lap 1, I managed to move up into 30th and now into 29th as we overtake Phil Hill. And taking a look at Giancarlo Baghetti as we come through Parabolic, I go very wide once again, and that allows Phil Hill to regain his position, so we drop down to 30th once again. That's not very nice. But we managed, as we cross the line to start lap 3, we once again overtake Phil Hill for 29th, and Giancarlo Baghetti seems to be quite slow there, and we overtake him as well, so that's 28th, and we're looking now at Geki Russo. Hopefully we'll be able to catch him soon enough as we go further along. Now moving on to lap 8, and for some reason everyone is very slow going into Curva Vialone here, and we move up into 26th. Can we overtake Ireland at 12? Yes, that's 25th. Pedro Rodriguez is next. Go a bit wide there, not something you don't really want to do through there. Can we overtake Pedro Rodriguez though? Yes we can, that's 24th. John Taylor would be next as we come into Curva Parabolica. Slow down. It looks like someone's someone. That's Jim Clark going very slow. It seems like he's stuck in gear, so he might be out of the race at this point. But that allowed us to gain quite a few positions. There was someone going into the pits as well. Someone else going into the pits as well. I think that was Chris Amon. It was a white car, not quite sure. But we are now in 23rd, and we are about to overtake Pedro Rodriguez for 22nd. That was quite an interesting little event there. And here is a replay of Jim Clark coming out of Curva Parabolica, and indeed he is stuck in gear, so he is coming into the pits to retire. Unfortunately for him, that is the end of the Italian Grand Prix for him, so he's probably not very happy about that, but there's not much anyone can do as we now move on to lap 9, and I go very wide through Lesmo 1 here. That allows Pedro Rodriguez to overtake me, so we drop down to 23rd. Don't really want to do that too much. We want to catch up to people, not lose positions to people, so hopefully we can get ourselves. But here on lap 9, coming through Lesmo 1 again, I go wide, not quite sure why, but the car was understeering quite a lot during this race, so I was having difficulty keeping the car in the corners. But we're now down in 24th, and now on lap 16 coming through Curva Vialone, and we lose power suddenly. I look into my mirrors, and there's smoke coming out of the rear of our car, and that is the end of the Italian Grand Prix for us, as well as our engine bursts into flame and black smoke. That's not very good. And here is a replay coming through Curva Vialone, and there we go. Engine is dead after 16 laps. That's not a very good sign, especially since well, we haven't had a very good season anyway. It seems that 1966 just isn't our season. This I have no words for this. We either crash horribly or something, or we have some mechanical failure. Anyway, on lap 18 we see Dan Gurney here having smoke coming out of his car. His engine is fried as well, obviously, and he's out of the race. So that's another retirement. And then we move on to the final lap, and we see Bandini also having smoke coming out of his engine as he comes through Lesmo 1. He pulls to the side, and he is out of the Italian Grand Prix as well. So those are pretty much all the retirements. As we now move on to the final seconds of the race, as we see Mike Parks coming around to win the Italian Grand Prix and set the fastest lap as well. So congratulations to him. Scarfiotti finished second, Rindt third, fourth, Brabham fifth, 30s, Jackie Stewart sixth. So those are quite a few people who managed to finish. Here are even more people who finished. Obviously Lorenzo Bandini retired on the final lap, so he does classify as a finisher. And there were quite a few people who were a lap down, and here are the retirements. 3 people retired during this season, well, this race, sorry. Well, 4 if we consider Bandini. But anyway, that was the Italian Grand Prix. Not a very good outcome for Andy. I would have liked to obviously finish the race, but it seems that the race didn't want us to finish. So yeah, let's move on. And here are the career statistics. This was Andy's 148th Grand Prix. His best start is from first, has 16 pole positions, has set 27 fastest laps. His best finishes in first, has completed 95 races, 74 of them in the points, has won 43 Grand Prix, 4 at the Indianapolis 500, 6 in Monaco, has 8 championships under his belt, has scored a total of 507 points, has retired 53 times, has experienced 3,135 out of 3,876 laps, has 7 bronze trophies, 16 silver trophies, 43 gold trophies, and as an extension, 43 podiums. And here's a quick look at the championship standings. Jochen Rindt extending his lead, Lorenzo Bandini is second, Graham Hill third, fourth, Jack Brabham fifth, shared by John Surtees and Jim Clark, and we are in 11th. Well, technically, we're sharing 8th place with Bob Anderson, Danny Hall, and Mike Parks. Jackie Stewart is the last person to score points. He's in 22nd, and bringing up the bottom of the driver standings is Phil Hill down in 32nd. So those are the driver standings, and we've just added a 7th Grand Prix winner this season. This is turning out to be quite an interesting season in terms of the championship. It could still be anyone's game, so we'll have to wait and see what happens in the final 2 races of the season. Anyway, let's move on to the constructors. And here we have Ferrari leading from Cooper, who are in second, Brabham third, fourth are Owen Racing Organization, Team Lotus fifth, and DW Racing Enterprises and Bruce McLaren sharing 6th. The last team to score points are Team Chamaco Collect in 14th, and bringing up the bottom of the constructors standings are Amon Racing in 19th. So that was the Italian Grand Prix. Yet another disappointing result for Andy. It's not exactly what you'd want, but I guess there was nothing helping it. If the engine wanted to go up in flames, it would have done so regardless of what I would have wanted, but oh well. That's the way the cookie crumbles, I guess. But yeah, that is the end of this video. There's really not much more to add to any of this, other than the fact that I'm quite disappointed, obviously, because once again, this season hasn't been going too well for us. But yeah, that is the end of this video. Don't forget to vote for next season's team. Link is in the description. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you all so much for watching, and as always, stay sharp.